My name is Rebecca Lorraine and I live in China and am currently pregnant. If you think you might be pregnant or you're interested in what I went through to figure out that I was pregnant, this is the video for you. Just to start out from the very beginning, if you do not want to be pregnant, in China it is very cheap and easy to get on birth control or to buy condoms or any other kind of don't want to have a baby stuff. When I was on birth control over here, the one that I was on was Diana, because Yasmin, something like that. That's the more common one, but for me that caused really weird spotting in between periods for me, so I do not like that one. So I was on Diana, which apparently can have an increase in blood clotting, but I never had any issues with it. That was 69 RMB, which is not very expensive, and up here I will put what that is in USD. It's really easy to get that. You do not need a prescription. In the US, you need a prescription for birth control. Over here in China, you do not. You just go to your pharmacy, you say, I don't want that, babies, and they will give you that. For those of you who don't want to not get pregnant, for those of you trying to have a baby, don't take birth control. That's not gonna help with that. Prior to Corona, for about 2 years, my husband and I were trying to have a baby. If you are in that situation, you are trying to have a baby, you can get ovulation strips. These kits have ovulation strips and these little cups. In that same kit, I'm pretty sure these are pregnancy tests because there's less of them, and the back says like pregnant, not pregnant, whereas the ovulation strips are testing for like can have sex, cannot have sex. I am not an expert, so if you were hoping I was, I'm just full of disappointment for you. This little strip, okay, and you do not pee on this. You pee into one of these cups, which I just can't get separated right now. Okay, there we go. I did. You pee into this, and you will get pee on your hand, and then you dip this in up to where it says max in English, so that's nice. I don't know if you can, it's not really focusing, but it says max in English, just trust me. And then you dip it, and then it tells you information. This is exactly what the pregnancy test also looks like, except the color of the handle is different. And then that one's gonna tell you if you're pregnant. I feel like I ordered enough for like a harem to all be trying for a baby at the same time, because this box isn't even open and this box is still like so full. Why did I think I needed this many ovulation strips and pregnancy tests? So this was kind of pricey. I would say this was like 260 RMB. I can look up the exact price later and I'll put it up here. But I would say it was about 260. But like I said, I way over ordered. So if you're trying for a baby and you want these, one box, dudes, one box. Anyway, so then Corona hit, so we stopped trying. Our financial situation changed dramatically, and we stopped trying for a baby. I did not get back on birth control because when I got off of birth control, it took me a while to start ovulating again. So I did not want to get back on birth control because I knew we did want a baby, and as soon as our financial situation improved, that we would start trying again for a baby. You can get pregnancy tests. This was 25 RMB. That's like nothing. I think they're also cheap in the US though, because you can get some for like $1. Yeah, so I got this pregnancy test when I thought I was pregnant. After these strips were telling me I was Jurassic pregnant, which, I mean, I did not want to have a dinosaur, so I was a bit concerned with the results of the strip. I have learned 2 lines means pregnant, okay? On any pregnancy test, 2 lines, you have a baby, I did not know this at first, so I tried to translate like what it was saying, and there's also the directions in here. This is all in Chinese, and yes, I've been here for 5 years, and yes, I still have terrible Chinese. You know, I'm not judging you. I actually am judging you, but I don't really know who you are, so I would probably judge you though. But anyway, I tried to translate this, I tried to translate the box, and I wasn't really understanding the translation. It wasn't like super clear, like pregnant, not pregnant. So since I didn't really understand what the translation was saying, I then looked up this brand. So this was David brand, and I just found like the same pregnancy test, but in English because it's like a big brand. And then I saw that 2 lines means pregnant. And that's when I started to look through different pregnancy test results, and I realized it's always 2 lines means pregnant. So you do not even have to speak the language on the box of the pregnancy test. That said pregnant. So then I was like, oh, so I have to double check and make sure that's accurate. So the next thing you're gonna wanna do if you are trying for a baby is get your blood work done. I just went to the nearest public hospital. I am not a fan of that one. I'm not dissing all public hospitals, and I'm also not going to mention the name of the hospital, but I was not a fan. We went up to the front desk, and I said, I'm pregnant. I would like a blood test to confirm that I'm pregnant. And the front desk was quite nice, and they actually had a little translating device, and so they were using that to talk to me, and so that was fine. So yeah, I got this card. This card, you go over to a machine, and then at the machine you make an appointment with a doctor. So to make the appointment with the doctor was 30 RMB, but then the doctor yelled at me. So, and she was like really frustrated that I didn't speak Chinese, even though I had a translating app with me, so it's not like I was expecting her to have the translating app. Like, I had it, all she had to do was speak into it, so I don't know why she was like so frustrated that I didn't speak Chinese, or that I didn't understand what was going on. Even if I spoke Chinese, I would still not have understood because I had not been to a public hospital before, because I lost my international insurance when our situation happened. But anyway, then the doctor does something, and then you go back to the kiosk and you pay for the blood test. The blood test was 142.58 RMB. So that was the blood test. We went on a Friday at 4 o'clock to get the blood drawn. And then they said, nope, we only draw blood before 10 a.m. Monday through Friday. And I was like, okay, that's a super annoying time slot. So that's why the line was really long. So then we got that done Tuesday, and then we actually didn't have the results until 3 o'clock on Wednesday. That's when they told us to come back. So that's over 24 hours to wait for the results. I had to be at work around 3 o'clock. So my husband went to get the results, and it said I was pregnant. He had to take my card that I showed you guys before, take the card, and then go to a kiosk and scan the card, and then this paper printed. And then this paper was in Chinese, so he didn't know what it said. So he took this paper to the doctor, and apparently she was also still like curt with him and was like, yeah, she's pregnant and she needs to come back in for an ultrasound. So then we were both kind of like, we do not want to have our baby there. So, because clearly we're going to encounter that doctor quite a lot, and she was rude. If it was like something smaller, I wouldn't mind going there. Like, I'm gonna keep my hospital card because that's our nearest hospital, and if there's something small that happens, I will go there for that. Like, it's not like the worst hospital in the world. As far as having my baby there, I was not content with that hospital. So then I asked some friends about like what would take the social health insurance, because the hospital I would prefer to go to won't take the social health insurance, and I just cannot afford to pay their prices, because it was like 50,000 RMB for the pregnancy package if it's a natural birth, and then like almost 100,000 RMB if it ends up being C-section. And I'm like, that's insane. But anyway, I found this other hospital that it is specifically a maternity hospital. So they specialize in maternity. I went to the maternity hospital for the ultrasound, and I would say I feel more comfortable about the idea of having a baby there. They were much nicer. Everyone I encountered there on that day was very nice. They didn't give me a card, but they had me sign up for their app, which I don't know how to use, and then they give you this, I'm not sure if there's any actual private information on here, but I'm gonna cover this part off. They give me this thing, and there's a barcode here, and I scan this barcode, and then at the kiosk, so again, they also kiosks, so I scan this barcode at the kiosk, and then I made an appointment with the OBGYN, and then she said, okay, yes, you need the ultrasound. So there's like 3 doctors in the room, and they're like, okay, take your pants off. And I was like, oh, okay. So then I just like had to take my pants off in front of them. So they were doing like the insert one ultrasound, not the on the belly one. So I wasn't surprised that they were gonna stick something up my vajayjay. I was just like a little embarrassed at like having to take my pants off in front of them. I did that, and then they pointed to this picture, which I'll put up because I took a picture of it. So I took a picture of the poster because it was hand drawn, and the woman looks terrified, and frankly I feel her pain because it was a weird experience because there's like 3 nurses in there, or 3 doctors, I don't know. I'm guessing at least one of them's a doctor. And then you take your pants off in front of them, and then they didn't have stirrups. So you just have to lift your legs up in the air, which is super uncomfortable after a while. And also, like the bed, they only replaced like a little square thing where your butt is. And then the rest of the bed I don't feel like they wiped off, so that wasn't very encouraging to me. So they give you this picture of the baby, and so there's my baby sack, and then amniotic fluid sac. I'm a doctor now. And then this is the clump of cells that will be a human. Yeah, it's crazy. So the baby is 1.3 centimeters. This is all in Chinese, but you can kind of figure it out. So, sorry, I have private information at the top that I'm not gonna show you. But it gives you the measurements, and then this says they can hear the heartbeat. I did not hear a heartbeat. They didn't let me hear anything. And then down at the bottom, it says like how far along. So it says 7 weeks and 6 days. Yeah, so they give you that. And then I went back to the doctor, and then she was like super pushy about whether or not I was having the baby at that hospital or not. And I was like, you know, I'm kind of shopping around. This is a big decision, and I have to really think about where I want to have this baby at. Price for the doctor's visit at that hospital was 50 RMB, and then the price for the ultrasound was 180 RMB. So none of these prices are that high, especially given that in the US I had to have an ultrasound one time because I was having some lady issues, and it was the same kind. It was a vaginal ultrasound where they stick it up there, and I had insurance. So even with insurance, I ended up paying $800 for that ultrasound. Meanwhile, I just got that other ultrasound here, same ultrasound, the vaginal ultrasound, and I currently don't have the social insurance yet. I'm gonna have it next week. So I had no insurance, so I paid 100% out of pocket, and I only paid 180 RMB. So that is a big difference. So as far as deciding what country to have the baby in, I definitely think as far as affordability, it would probably be more affordable to have the baby in China. Now, if you're from a country like England or somewhere that offers socialized medicine, you're probably going to complain about the prices, but for me, those prices are good coming from American prices. Yeah, so far those are the expenses that I occurred. The 25 RMB for the pregnancy test, and then the 140 for the blood work, and about 180 for the ultrasound. So not too bad as far as the early trimester prices are concerned, and that's without any insurance. If you're interested and would like a follow-up video about different hospitals and stuff like that, let me know in the comments, and let me know whatever questions you have, and I can try to answer them and help it to maybe be a little easier for you if you're wanting to go through this process. Or if you're just interested in what I'm going through, let me know in the comments what sort of videos you would be interested in hearing about as I go through my pregnancy journey over here in China. Alright, thank you very much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. If you would like to keep updated on my journey, please consider subscribing. Thank you very much for watching. Alright, bye, 再见.